back, episode 231. But who's counting? I'm counting. My name is Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector. Coming at you from the top of my house, man. It is chilly. Finally, fall is here. Finally, the autumn is here, man. It was like 80 degrees 2 weeks ago in the beginning of October. I don't think that's supposed to be the way it is. I never really liked fall growing up. I always thought like, oh man, I don't like fall. I don't like fall. And then I realized why I didn't like fall or autumn. It was because it's when school started. So it's actually a really beautiful time of year. I just got kind of turned off on it because it was like when we had to go back to school. But then when you're an adult and you don't have to do anything other than like just work and make the world a better place, well, then fall's pretty cool, man. It's beautiful. Like the leaves are changing, it's crisp air. If you do a live show from your attic, your toes are chilly because it's cold at the top of my house, just below the roof. That's right, in the attic. I used to live up here for like 3, 4 years, not literally, but I did my work up here, did the show up here, and then world opened back up, and I went back and I spent a lot of time on the road again, a lot of time in the office here on Long Island. But it's always my favorite part of the week to get back up here and do another episode of Philanthropy in Focus. And I do that in the attic. So there's only been like 5 episodes out of 231 episodes that have not been in the attic, for maybe I was traveling or different situations. But I'm in the attic now. What's the week look like? Well, TSI NY event the other night, their 50th anniversary. I had a gold jacket on because, of course, you wear gold for the 50th, right? They surprised me with an award, the Joe Q Friendship Award, Transitional Services for New York, TSI NY, serving 5,000 individuals with serious and persistent mental illness in the 5 boroughs of New York City. So Tommy D got the Joe Q Award. So shout out to Joe Q. Joe Q, we remember you. You were a great part of the team, leading TSI Cares for many years. We miss you. This is the first award I got that says Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector on the award. So I appreciate that. I took the 5 minutes, even though they offered me two. I took the 5 minutes to say we need to end the stigma around mental illness. We need to normalize conversations that it's okay not to be okay. We need to normalize conversations that it's good to be in therapy. I swear I said to a room full of 200 people that like part of like the most important part of my week in a lot of cases that really sets up the rest of my week is a time I get to be with my therapist twice a week. And that's very important. And a lot of that is me working through the trauma and the challenges I have because I believe this. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Be kind always. And I think that's a great way to set up our program this morning. This is an organization that has had representation on the show in the past. So I always say there's only been a handful of times when we get a double dip, right? And when it's about mental health, man, you're going to get a triple dip, you get a quadruple dip. Solace House is one of those organizations that has been here a number of years ago. I have my spreadsheet open. I'm not going to look at it, but it was a while back. And they came on the show. I had the opportunity um, to walk with this organization 3 times. Once as a volunteer, and I'm going to have Nandini Collins tell us about the walk. We're going to get into all that. Nandini, how are you, my dear?
I'm good. I'm freezing as well, but
Are
thank
you
you so
cold?
much, Tommy. It's great to be here.
It's a little chilly, man. I know. It's a chilly one. It's a brisk. It's like that iced tea. Brisk, baby. So we're we're gonna get into all about the organization and the walks, but I just want to, tell you, I had the opportunity to go to the walk this year where it is so poetic, where you show up at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and we walk in Long Island City, Queens, from darkness into light. And I'm not gonna be too open with my stuff right now, but I will say this. I have stuff I'm dealing with on a regular basis, as I believe we all do. And it's emotional. It's an emotional morning. It's in a morning where there's survivors who have lost, a loved one to suicide. And there's solace in walking from darkness into light that we do each year. And it goes on around the country and it goes on in fact, in Ireland too, there's walks. And I had this incredible opportunity to walk with the founder of the organization. We didn't know, he didn't know who I was. I didn't know who he was. We were just 2 guys walking through Long Island City from darkness into light. And he shared his story with me. And since then, we've become friendly. And that's what it's all about. It's about friendship, relationship, hugs and support and things like that. So it says on the website, Solace House, we help treat mental illness and prevent suicide. And we're here for you. And listen, gang, if you're at this, right, 988, by the way, let's just get that out there because if you are experiencing something and you found this somehow, excuse me, call 988, get some support, get the support you need. We're going to get into this conversation. Nandini, my friend, we've hung out a little bit, right? We did some, like when we first met, it was months ago, and I made some connections as I do. And then we had some Zoom calls, and then I came to the walk. And we had this plan where you were going to come on the show earlier, but a lot of like logistical stuff going on. I mean, you guys just had the boat cruise and stuff like that. I want you to tell us about your journey. I always ask my guests, how did you get to where you are now? You said right before we got started, right before we hit record or play, as they say, that this is just 2 years already for you at the organization. And there's a lot of exciting things that are happening in a way of expansion and growth, which in our world, nonprofit, that means more impact, more lives changed. And in an organization like yours, literally, not to be funny, more lives saved because of the expansion that you're doing. So I want to know about you. I want to connect. I want to hear your story. Take it away. Let's go, man.
Thanks, Tommy. I've always had this restless energy when it comes to work and my career. And even when things were going well professionally, I would find myself sitting in meetings thinking, is this it? And isn't there more meaning? Isn't there more I can do and more impact I can have? I have a bachelor's in kinesiology. I have a master's in applied physiology and a doctorate in sport management with an emphasis in sport medicine. So from the very beginning, I was drawn to the connection between the body and the mind, how movement, wellness, and performance all intersect. And I always knew that I wanted to help others in some way. For a very long time, my career lived in that space, health, fitness, performance, and I loved it. And I've been into fitness my whole life. It grounds me, it still does. It gave me structure and focus. But at some point, I realized that physical wellness is just a piece of the puzzle. And you can have, someone, I see this every day, someone who looks perfectly healthy on the outside, but feels completely broken on the inside. And I couldn't shake that feeling, and that I wanted to be doing something deeper, something that mattered more on a human level. And I think the turning point really for me was when I volunteered for the Trevor Project. That's when I knew the kind of difference and impact that I wanted to make in my life. I used to joke in my old jobs when things used to get stressful. I'd say, well, it's not like we're saving lives. But now I can't say that anymore because
Yeah.
at Solace House, that's exactly what we are doing.
Yeah.
And that's when everything shifted for me. And it stopped being about career progression or titles or stability. And it became about purpose because this isn't just a job, it's a calling, honestly. And I'm not the kind of person who can just have a job anyway. I put my whole self into what I do, and I always have. So when I stepped into the nonprofit leadership world, especially in the mental health space, it felt like everything I'd done before, my education, my experience in performance and wellness, my empathy for people, it all finally connected because true wellness is it's not just physical, it's emotional, it's mental, it's social and spiritual. And when people are in pain, when they feel like they don't belong or that they just can't go on, that's not something you fix with a program. It's something that you fix with humanity, with being present, meeting people where they're at. My leadership is heart centered because for me that's the only way I know how to lead. And I believe in meeting people where they're at, whether it's my team or our clients, our donors, our sponsors, or volunteers. I help them to feel seen and heard and valued. And when I see Solace House now, I don't see an organization. I see a living and breathing community that stands in solidarity. So every counselor or volunteer or person who, comes to us, that they're part of that and they become part of our community that stands together. So I guess to answer in a very long-winded way, the question of how I got into nonprofit, I didn't find it. It found me. And once it did, I knew that there was no turning back.
Thank you for all that. I mean, it found you, right? That has so much meaning because, you know, I closed my eyes a couple times while you were speaking. I don't know if I've ever done that on this program, because I was just listening and trying to very intently listen to that journey. But I think if we do quiet ourselves down and listen, there, the universe, maybe some deity, if that's some what somebody's um, connection is. I believe we're all divine inside. I believe in that. Um, but you'll hear it. The voices will speak to us and bring us where we need to go. And I jotted a couple things down while my eyes were not closed. Um, you talk about physical, the emotional, the spiritual, all that together, and you talk about heart-centered. And words have meaning and they evoke emotion, certainly in all of us. And with me, I have a friend of mine who just had a book come out a couple weeks ago, and I was involved with helping her promote the book. And it's called The Thriving Family Business. Peace at the table and profits to the balance sheet. And that's my friend Tildette Varon. And she only can work with heart-centered businesses. She can only work with heart-centered professionals. And she's actually consulting with one of the nonprofits that I sit on the board of directors right now. Um, and it's so important to hear you say heart-centered because you said you can only solve these problems with humanity. And I stand in front of rooms going, we need love, man. We need more love. We need more compassion. A couple weeks ago, they asked me to MC um, the Gone But Not Forgotten Walk for a very important organization. I'm so funny. Very important organization. My friend. One of my friends said to me the other day, Tommy D, but like I'm really your friend. I'm like, you're all my like my friend who's but a very important organization. I got to come up with more adjectives, better adjectives. But just Mental Health Association, Nassau County, they reached out and they said, Tommy D, we have our Gone But Not Forgotten Walk. And it's for people, families who have lost somebody to an overdose. And that's happened to my family. I've experienced that. And I didn't know that I would bring that up at the microphone, trying to be, witty and the whole thing. But I did. I told a story about somebody, in our family and who we lost a number of years ago. And everybody's fighting this stuff, man. So it's that humanity. And I stand up in front of rooms or at least in a parking lot at Jones Beach and talk about the love and compassion. And I think that's it, man. That's what we're trying to do. And it's more we can find. There was a woman the other night when I was given this award by TSINY, and I'm going to bring it back, gang. I don't want to rant here, but she told her story about how challenging it's been for her. And now she works at TSINY, but she's gone through the programming and she had a really tough upbringing. And she was on video in front of, to accept her award in front of, 200 people sharing that story. And that inspires the heck out of me, man, because that's it. Doesn't mean everybody has to be in everybody's business, but maybe, maybe that would change things, man. Maybe if we just knew. And I think if we just reflect that to people. So that's a lot of what you're saying. That heart-centered thing came up for me. And if you close your eyes and you tune into nature and things, gang, you're going to find what you're looking for and you're going to find where your impact, man. It's a blip, man. It's 80, 90 years and it's a blip, man. I'm halfway through, I imagine, although I keep saying I got 50 to go still. But the thing is, like, what are you trying to do? What's the impact you're trying to make? And, I used to beat up on like big business and stuff and be like, what does that do in the world? Like, and
Yeah,
I still kind of feel that way.
me
But
too.
but it's cool because go make that money and then give it to organizations like Solace Health or Options for Community Living or TSINY or Siloam Wellness. Shout out to Serena. We just had our weekly call, my friend and client outside of Philadelphia. I went to her event in Philly the other night. It was a cabaret event. So you could just imagine it was just
Amazing.
bananas. And it's about these organizations. So if you are a big business, we love you. We actually love you. Keep making money and then donate it to nonprofits to do the good work
Yes.
on the front lines. So I just think that was so touching hearing your story. And I think that affects so many people to hear the stories and the journeys of people. You said, and maybe I'm summarizing, but you weren't fulfilled. You weren't doing what you
Ever.
were meant to do, right?
Yeah. Until now.
That's unbelievable. I love it. We're going to talk community. We're going to talk impact. We're going to talk about the organization. When we come back, I want you to, because I don't want to just gloss over things. I heard you say the Trevor Project. I want to hit up the Trevor Project. I want you to talk about your experience there when we come back, and we'll get into how you end up finding your way to Solace House and where we are and what's upcoming. I mean, I think it told me you have like 4 or 5 events between now and the end of the year, which is like 8, 9 weeks. So lots of stuff going on, lots to talk about. You having fun so far?
So far, so
All
good.
right, so far. All right, we're just getting warmed up. We'll be right back. The one and only, the kid, El Nino in Spanish. Okay, that's what I like to say. All right. Philanthropy in focus. Right back.
Are you a conscious co creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour Awakening Humanity, Thursdays 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a high-achieving, growth-oriented leader? Are you interested in developing your authentic leadership while creating a healthy, inclusive workplace? Hi, I'm Dr. Mira Brancu, host of The Hard Skills on talkradio.nyc at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, where we discuss how leaders develop the hard skills needed to make a greater impact. We interview experts, have live coaching, and tackle these challenges. Listen to The Hard Skills on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC. Uplift, educate, empower.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
Oh man, cut through the static, join Tommy in the attic. It made me think about, Wayne's World. I always used to tell a story about Wayne's World. Wayne's World, Wayne's World, party time, excellent. If you don't know, you don't know, and if you know, you know. Shout out to Mike Myers, and Dana Carvey, Wayne and Garth. Oh my God! But what happened is that in that movie, they got a deal, right? Somebody checked them out. They used to do their show like, um, in Wayne's basement or whatever, and it would like be on like public access TV, and then they got a deal, and they got to go into the studio and they recreated Wayne's basement like in the studio. So like I have an idea where somebody, although things are different now, if the whole world is remote, it's different. Maybe you don't need a studio. I like to go to the studio at North Shore TV. Shout out to my friends Rebecca and Erica over at North Shore TV, where I do a lot of shows. But I think, Dr. Collins, that somebody is going to recreate my attic, or at least this part of the attic, in a studio, like on a soundstage. Like
I love
that's
that idea.
isn't that a fun idea? Like just
I
this
love
section.
that idea.
There's like a soffit. Like I'm in like this little box, this cubicle here on this side of the attic. And like I think
Yes,
it's very small, but we just create that. It's like picture me, the on-air sign, like kind of like, like this whole thing is like a bootleg setup that I did like in 21, and it's just like still there. And it's so
I love it.
I
It
love it too.
works.
This is
And I
where
see it on the big stage one day or the
oh,
big
you're the
screen.
best. Oh my God. Close my eyes. I'm imagining. I share the website for the Trevor Project. Let's go on your journey. You said you started out, volunteering there. Tell us about that. And tell us about
So
the
I was working full time for the last 10 years or so. I was in the health tech startup world. I went to Noom, which was my first job after having kids, thinking, can I be a mom? Can I be a professional? And that was 100% remote before the world went remote. And the answer was yes. And I climbed in leadership really quick. And, that was at that point was only about weight loss, and I wanted to do more. So I said, okay, well, let me volunteer. And I said this before, but that's when it really felt right. I was helping youth and teens and adolescents who were calling in crisis, LGBTQ youth who were suicidal or self-harming or having deep depression and anxiety or any kind of mental health crisis. And they give you an extensive training. So I had been trained by the Trevor Project on how to handle these situations. And we had a supervisor who was always there on call. And that's where I felt like I was finally making a profound impact. And I felt like, okay, well, I can't just do this a few hours a week. I need to engulf myself in this world. This is what I need to do full time. And again, divine intervention. At that point, I was still chasing the next job, the next promotion, the higher salary, the better benefits. And a few jobs went by. I was still frustrated, but divine intervention, I was laid off twice in 2 years from these health tech startups. And one of our board members, Michael Conlin, who my husband is friends with, called me up one day and said, "Hey, we're hiring for a CEO, and I think this is really what you would like," because he knew what I was looking for. And that's how Solace House found me.
Wait a minute. So are you trying to say, doctor, are you trying to convince me that the way you ended up here was through relationships, connections, and networking? Is that what are you trying? Is that what you're doing here? Gang,
I
that's the whole
mean,
thing. How many young people, and I know I had a cool opportunity to meet your daughter when I came out for the walk. She was volunteering, and it was funny because it was super early. It was dark out still when we all got there, you know. And I was like, I can't, I know, like, I'm gonna get home before my four kids are even awake. And I was laughing that your daughter, what's she like 17 or something like that?
my daughter is 14. She's
Oh,
amazing.
she's only
She's
14? Oh my God. So
she's fully
why
engrossed in
I love
this organization, loves to volunteer.
that's
She
awesome.
loved getting up with me when it was dark and doing the walk. She loves it. She wants to be at every event
You know
moving
what?
forward.
All right. So I got 15, 14, 12, and 10. So I think the answer is I got to get them out to these early morning
Absolutely.
walks. You know what it is, man? I used to close the bar at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. Not like,
Same.
right? Okay. So we're saying
Yeah,
same.
same.
I
It
love that
was
you say
funny
same.
because that morning she saw a club letting out and she was like, "Mommy, they
Yeah.
didn't go home." I was like, the horror. Oh
Oh
my
my God.
goodness.
How dare they? That's
How
disgusting.
dare they? And look at the good that we're doing.
Yeah, dirty, rotten stayouts. Hey, listen, man. This decade is my penance for what I did a couple of decades back, man. You know, so I'm all about waking up early to do the right thing because
Same.
yeah, I love that. I love how you say same because that's what we say. You know, the kids say, our children say that. Same, same, same.
Oh, I'm
So,
trying very hard not to use their current lingo of the teenagers.
well, you know, I mean, how about that? 6, 7? Do we know about 6, 7?
I know
Six,
all about
seven.
it, but I had to look it up.
I did too. It's nothing. It means nothing, but
It's nothing.
it's shenanigans. It's nothing. But the funny thing about it is like I can't say like my wife would say like what time you think you can bring home? I don't know, 6, 6, 7, 6.
Can't say it around the house.
It's ridiculous. And I have four, two in the high school, one in the middle school, one in the elementary. So it's all
My son is 12 and a half, almost 13, and my daughter is 14.
right. So
Can you imagine the conversations in this house?
I I I don't need to
You
because
can, you can.
I don't even need to imagine. I live this life. So it's just funny, gang. If you don't know 6, 7, I can't help you. Google it.
I
It's
can
just
do it.
some nonsense that kids are saying. But when you said same, it reminded me of them because they always say same.
We
So
had our nonsense too growing up, right? We had the same thing, so I let it go.
100%. Listen, the show is called Philanthropy and Focus with a PH for two reasons. Because I was a hip hop kid and I loved all types of music, but I always had a bent towards hip hop. And we used to say fat,
Yeah.
PHAT, right? And Focus now in this attic, and at least for 231 episodes of this program, and on my business cards, it says in Focus starts with a PH, right? So yes, we had our stuff, 100%. Every generation does. But I think it's hysterical when like I know to say 6, 7 when it's appropriate. We got to get back on track. People are like, what is he doing? Gang, if you've been here before, you know this is part of the show. So, you know, and I don't know if you don't like it, wait till next week. Maybe it'll be a different thing. Maybe I'll say 7, 8. All right, let's get into all right. What does Solace House really do? Like, how did this you get there? Even before it's like, what do you guys do from an impact perspective? You get there, you have this opportunity, and I joked about connections and relationships. That's all there really is. I want to make one point before I go back to you on that. I get so many young people that are connected to me when they're graduating college, and their parents will say things like, "Hey, you know, would you talk to my son? Would you talk to my daughter? They're having a tough time, you know, getting a new opportunity. They just graduated." because they're taking, in my opinion, they're taking their resumes and they're just dumping a bunch of resumes somewhere where it shows up and AI looks at it and human beings don't even get to see it. Whereas it's if they had the relationship just to say, hey, like I'll say, go look at my LinkedIn and like see who I might be connected to. And since you're a friend of a friend, I'm happy to make that connection. That's the game changer. That's how jobs get, that's how you got the connection at Solace House. You just said it, right? What do you say about that before we get into anything else?
Then I looked for a job the way you're supposed to in this day and age for 9 months when I was laid off. LinkedIn, I did everything right. I mean, my resume looks good. I have the connections and it's broken. It's not working right now. It's got to be some type of connection or someone you know. Put yourself out there, talk to people, let them know what you're looking for. I mean, that's the only way that seems to work. That's how it worked for me.
I told a buddy of mine who's looking for a new gig, I was like, dude, you got to get out and network. Like, you think you were
Yes.
networking like a month ago when you were trying to sell? I think you got to network twice as hard now and get out there and be positive and fired up and excited for your next opportunity.
And
No,
be you.
yeah, 100% you. But like, not like, oh, I need my next gig. No, dude, I'm fired up, baby. What's next? What's my next opportunity? Maybe I'm going to be the CEO of a new, of this organization like Solace. What, like that happens because you put yourself in an opportunity. I have another friend, and then we get back to you, Doc. I have another friend who runs marketing for a major Long Island nonprofit organization. And he got that because somebody was like, dude, you like own a marketing company. You should probably see if this is a fit. Met with the CEO, and now he runs marketing and development at that
Amazing.
nonprofit. That's only because of relationships. So you get there, you find this opportunity, this dream job, my words, but I think you say the same. You find this dream opportunity, and I need to take a breath. And what is it like when you get there? What's the first things? What do you start to work on?
So our previous CEO, who's this is a legacy for her, Rebecca Sked ran this, and I think that's who you've met in the past.
I have, yes.
She moved back to Ireland, so we transitioned all of last year as she was passing the torch to me, and I focused all of last year on just trying to take over this small but very mighty organization and learning the ins and outs. And she handed over a lot of the amazing work that she did for this organization. I learned a lot about it, and I mean, through this work, I have seen the best of humanity. I can't believe it. And it is such a reminder every day, especially in today's world. I've seen the best side of people and learning all about it. I threw myself into it wholeheartedly and want to spread it even more. So last year was about maintenance. This year is about expanding and growing.
So when you talk about expanding and growing, can we just share, we talked about from a geographic perspective, the expansion that I saw on social media just the other day. So I guess that maybe a better way is like to kind of set it up. The organization is in Long Island City, Queens. Shout out to Queens. Let's go Mets. We'll just leave that there for now. So, Queens Chamber of Commerce, all my relationships. I spent the first year of my life living in Queens. And then when my wife and I got married, we moved back to Queens, done a lot of business in Queens, have a lot of relationships in Queens. I love Queens. And the organization is in Queens, but also serving other populations. And there's a walk up in the Bronx, right? There's a walk. Am I
We
right?
do, yeah, we
Yeah.
have about 5 walks all over New York, and we're able to serve New York statewide because we are telehealth. And yes, our walks take place within the month of May, and we hold it in several different locations.
Right. And there's also now on the other side of the bridges and tunnels and things like that, right? I mean, I don't even know what I saw it on social media, so I guess it's out there. So talk
It's out
about
there.
as we go to a break, where else are you going to be?
New Jersey, now serving New Jersey statewide.
I love that. Now serving New Jersey. By the way, I got to make a quick shout out. Patrick McGowan, my brother. I only met you one time. We had one phone conversation after that. I feel like we're connected. I send you love, man. I send you just, I say everyone you meet is fighting a battle. I know what was kind of the reason why Patrick founded this organization and the importance of it. And I send love to Patrick and everybody else in the Solace House community and anyone else who's experiencing any challenging times from your boy. Here's a heart. All right, we'll take a quick break and we're going to get into the inner workings of Solace House, what the impact is, who's being served, what what you all can do to help the organization and what's upcoming. I didn't get on the boat with you guys for a couple of reasons. One of which is I get seasick, and and the other reason is I don't like to be stuck on a boat if I can't get off the boat. So
I
like
hear you.
I could leave a restaurant or a bar if I've had enough, but if you're on a boat, you're sort of stuck
Irish
there.
goodbye.
Yeah, exactly. I'm good at the Irish goodbye, man. I was a bartender. However, I can't swim that well that I'm going to do an Irish goodbye off a boat. We'll talk about the boat. We'll talk about everything else when we come back. My show is called Philanthropy and Focus. Your boy's called the Nonprofit Sector Connector. Right back.
Misalignment within your sales team or with the client stalls deals and creates unnecessary friction for you and the client, resulting in up to 37% lower win rate. If you're in pre-sales, sales management, or sales enablement, and you'd like to increase revenues, win rate, margins, client satisfaction, and stay competitive, this show is for you. Hi, I'm Art Fromm, host of the Making Seamless Sales Show. Please join me live Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc.
Have you ever wondered what truly lies beneath the calm? I'm Jacinta Yang. Join me every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Talk Radio NYC as we explore healing, self-discovery, and a space where science meets spirits to help you find peace in a busy world. Take a deep breath and tune in to Beneath the Calm, where every conversations guide you back to the calm within.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
That's right. All right, the website is solacehouseusa.org. Solacehouseusa.org. And I'm reading this right off the website. The support and assistance that Solace House has given me in the wake of such devastating loss and grief that ensues has been invaluable to me. And to this day, I do not know how I would have gotten through it without them. Gang, it's about community. It's about talk therapy. It's about what I rock with, cognitive behavioral therapy. You could be cool if you could speak words, Tommy. Cognitive behavioral therapy.
CBT. Make it
That's what
easy.
it's easier that way. I know, but I like to spell out the acronyms for folks because I feel like then they don't know what it all is. So, but that stuff is so cool because it's about changing behavior and stuff. But I love the therapy thing myself. I talk about it all the time, but I think a lot of it is me figuring stuff out and my guy reflecting some of my stuff back on me. And I'm like, there we go, Shawnee. That's what I was thinking. But it's a lot of us doing the work together. So let's get into this organization, the work you're up to, the team that you have, and the folks that are supportive. I mean, what does it cost to get mental health services from Solace House? What's the price?
Solace House is completely free. We try to lower the barrier for anyone because it was started on the notion that nobody who is going through suicidal ideation and the hardest and the lowest, darkest point in their life should face any barriers. So we have lowered the bar completely. There is no cost, no insurance, no questions asked. It can be completely anonymous and it's confidential. And every session is with a licensed therapist. So our core service is free one-on-one mental health telehealth counseling with a licensed therapist, ensuring that nobody faces depression, grief, anxiety, suicidal ideation thoughts alone. And clients can access from the privacy of their own home, whether they want Zoom or a phone call, it's whatever fits their preference, as well as their schedule. And they don't have to worry about cost or insurance barriers. And every session is provided again by a licensed therapist.
One of the biggest things, thank you for that. One of the biggest things, Nandini, is that for somebody to get to a point where they're ready to speak to somebody, the last thing they need is any barriers. Or when somebody gets to a place of such darkness that they need support, to make it any more difficult is really challenges somebody's life, and that is the wrong thing to make this difficult. And I think that's a problem where access to mental health services is a problem right now. It is just a
Absolutely.
problem. And I feel jazzed that as a society we're talking about this stuff more than we were 6 years ago. If you like, I almost said 6, 7, but 6 years ago. But 6 years ago, like before COVID, one of those old, COVID silver linings is we started to talk about this stuff more. I mean, God, I have t-shirts that say hashtag ending the stigma together. I didn't have t-shirts like that before. Um, I'm just so appreciative and grateful that there's organizations like yours that are providing these services. So how does somebody engage with the organization? What are the deliverables? Let's talk through some of that.
I want to highlight something that you said first, and it's about just simply talking about it. There is so much stigma and shame around having depressive thoughts, suicidal ideation, and so many people go it alone. They make excuses. My problem's not big enough, or this is so shameful. I'm embarrassed. My goal in life is to talk about it so that everybody knows it's okay to not feel okay and that they don't have to do it alone. I want to create this movement, almost a shift in the paradigm that talking about it is the only way to get through it. And that's why I'm so thankful to be here. That's why I was so excited to be on your show, because you do that, Tommy. We talk about it and we put it out there. And so many people over the last 2 years I have encountered who've never spoken about the suicide that's impacted their families or that they have had suicidal thoughts. And that's the goal, to speak about it. So thank you for mentioning that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. And the thing about it for me is like I think that's obviously the only way, is to shine a light on these things. And I don't want to I don't necessarily, it's one of these things like I don't think we need to go back and figure out why there's the shame attached to it. The point is there is, and we need to get rid of that. It's like,
Mhm.
let's just fix it. Like I can't go back and change the 46 and a half, 47 years of my life that already happened, but I can change today and tomorrow. Like I can do
Yeah,
that. So like that's what I think we need to do as a society. And thank you for your gratitude, because I'm just trying to be that guy to make a platform where we can have these conversations and these dialogues. Because guess what, gang? If you realize that everybody is in the same kind of stuff you are, life is difficult. It can be difficult, man. And if we can just go, oh, that's actually what it is. It's like part of the journey. It's like there's ups and there's downs. It's like a roller coaster. Okay, cool. And everybody's dealing with something. Then you go, why can't I share? Right? That's the big part of it for me.
I agree. And I think I didn't answer your question
No,
about
because
our
I didn't. It's
program.
okay though. Welcome to my show. My whole life is like that. I don't answer most people's questions, so
Well,
don't
I
feel
get
bad.
it.
No,
Yeah,
but
I get
please,
it
please,
too.
yeah, take me down the. It's so cool. Taking me down the kind of the path of what it's like for somebody to get services from the organization, what a day in the life as the CEO is, and your team, and things like that.
So all anybody needs to do that's either listening or having these feelings, and I want to back up for a second. If anybody who's listening is currently in crisis, please call 988. We are the space where somebody is not in imminent danger of dying by suicide. So we get a lot of our referrals from 988. They refer people to us, and sometimes they will call people with us, with
Mhm.
them on the phone. And you just have to call 718-482-0001 to get in touch with us. One of us will always answer the phone. And our hours are Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Fridays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We do a short intake, which is always one of us again, and that takes about 5 to 10 minutes. And then the next session is with a licensed therapist who goes through a full assessment to gauge suitability and timing. And that's usually 1 hour a week moving
Mhm.
forward for as long as they need or as long as they and their therapist deem necessary. So that's the easiest way to get in touch with us. In the past, there's been wait lists when we are at capacity, but again, my goal and our board's goal currently is to never have a wait list. So we will expand as much as we need to so that we don't have a wait list, because we don't believe in suicidal ideation needing a wait list.
Yeah, yeah. This is not exactly something we can go. Okay, 6 weeks we can get you on. How's that? How about an appointment in December? Well, that's not going to work, and we don't need to go into any details more than that. But that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so when when you talk about that, I mean, I heard you mention your board. I mentioned Patrick, and the just the vision of the board. What a blessing to have that support that they're like, man, look, that's unacceptable to have a wait list. We're not That's not our operation. We don't that's not how we do things here.
We just talked about it last week at our board meeting, and Patrick McGowan and the rest of the board, it goes against our grain. And they said, we will just have to continue raising funds. We're just going to have to continue our outreach, whatever it takes. If we have to bring on more therapists, that's what we're going to do to serve people, because we are actually almost at capacity. It's been a very busy time. We have more people than ever calling us. Maybe it's because I have a big mouth. I don't know. Um,
So
but
I'm sorry, but it might get worse after today. But that's
Well, good. Well, good. That's what we want to do. We never want to stop people from coming. We don't want to put people on a wait list,
right.
and hopefully we don't have to,
Yeah.
with more support, more donors, and getting the word out there more.
All right, so that's an interesting thing. So I mentioned a boat, and these people are like, what is he talking about now? So right before we went to the last break, I mentioned there was a cruise, and I knew it was coming up, and I like thought I could try to pull. I don't even go to the Queen's Chamber. They got this cruise, the Queen's
I
Chamber.
know.
I can't even go on that because, like, look, I could take a Dramamine. I'm all good, right? But I'm just like, sometimes even your boy, he's got to like get away from people. And
I
if
get it.
you
I
know what
get
I'm
it.
talking about, like my wife's going on a cruise, like with one of my daughters and friends, whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, like you can't leave. You can't ever. You're on the boat. It's a ship, Tommy, but you're on this ship and you can't get away. So tell us about your boat cruise. Now that I've made it so attractive for everybody to want to go on next year's boat cruise.
Well, I'm glad you said that actually, because I have something to share. So we started the boat cruise. The boat cruise was Patrick McGowan's idea. Last year was our first one, and my first big event without the previous leadership team, and it was a huge success. So we did it again this year, and it was even more impactful. But you're right about the seasickness. This year we even served Dramamine
Oh, you
on
did?
the cruise. We put Dramamine in all the bathrooms, but there is a lot of traffic on the Hudson, and
Yeah.
it is pretty rocky. We've grown, and this is good news. And so I do want to share that maybe we have outgrown the cruise. And
You
so
know what?
next year we're looking to do a gala.
I got an idea. I got a perfect idea. I just came up with the idea. It's here. It's live. It's being recorded, so everybody will know it's my idea. You should do this on the Intrepid because that's being on a ship, a boat, an aircraft carrier, but it doesn't move. So like that's like everybody wins.
So same.
And
Yes.
it's in
So
Manhattan. I'm Manhattan.
that's where we're headed.
Manhattan. It's in Manhattan. And that would be a fun thing. Have you been
Right.
on the
And that's exactly what we are envisioning, keeping the sunset theme, but straddling our two states, maybe
Yeah,
overlooking the Hudson
yeah.
with a different event, because we are growing. And I think that more people want to get involved after such a successful night. And that boat cruise really embodied what we are. It was community standing together. It was a night of hugs and
Yeah.
compassion. And it was just so meaningful for our community. It's growing, and I think that in a stable event on land
Yeah.
is the way to go moving forward. But the first two boat cruises were history in the making, I think.
I love it. Listen, Patrick McGowan, when you see this, listen, I love you, brother. I'm just a landlubber. What am I going to tell you, man? It's just how I can't stay still. I'm always moving around, but I like the ground beneath me to stay still.
I think a lot of people are in the same boat. See what
Yeah,
I did there?
look what you did. Come on, you kidding me? I knew you were gonna do it. That's funny. I love that. I like wordplay. It's one of my favorite things. I think, look, I live on an island. I'm not afraid of the water. I just, Rocky's not my thing, man. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into when we gotta take a break again. Oh man. Tommy D, you're not good at the breaks. You've never been good at that. We're gonna take a break. When we come back from break, here's what I want to do. What's upcoming, man? My favorite part of the show, honestly, is like, what do we do next? Where can I meet you? Where can folks come out from the community? Where can they serve? Where can they volunteer? Where can they write a little check, write a big check, whatever the case may be? Where can they learn more about the organization? Because it does take a village, right? It does take the community. We are one race of human beings that need each other and we must support each other. Oh, Tommy D, you're like a hippie, man. Yeah, guilty as charged. It's what it is. It's about people. It's about humanity. It's about love. Maybe that's how you guys can remember me, in 80 years when I'm not here. We'll be right back.
On Frank About Health, we're not just talking healthcare. We're managing disruption and innovation. Over the last 4 years, I've taken you from epilepsy and COVID to mental health, caregiving, and now the front lines of healthcare transformation. Stay tuned for a healthier future as we bring on the innovators, professionals, storytellers, and advocates who show you how to own your healthcare every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a purpose-driven individual looking for deeper healing, clarity, and growth? Welcome to the Expansion Room, a transformative space for purpose-driven individuals. I'm Siobhan Larice, host, licensed therapist, and coach. Join me every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
You know, as I look at the website, solacehouseusa.org, I see all these important sponsors, these logos, these names of the sponsors that supported your organization. And I was a little nasty before, and I like picked on companies and stuff like that because I was like, like
We need them.
we need them, man. And again, I own a business. I mean, Vanguard Benefits, we are a company, and I guess if I had my way, I would just do nonprofit stuff all day, every day, because I think it's most impactful, which is kind of funny because last night I had a dinner and we had Northwell Direct Out, which is the provider network of Northwell Health. And we're doing a lot of business with them, putting them in front of our clients. And we had maybe seven or eight nonprofits from Long Island represented there, all with 100 or more employees, because that's what that program is used for. And we were in front of all these nonprofits, and Northwell itself is a nonprofit, much larger nonprofit than some others, but just about community. And it's about bringing, in this case, healthcare to people. So I think I know that there are important relationships. I'm about the connections. So sorry, for-profit world, I was a little fresh earlier. We love you. We appreciate you. Keep supporting nonprofits. But it just came back to me because I was on your website here looking at all the organizations. I was so fortunate, we're going to get into upcoming events. I was looking at the Golf Classic and I was sharing that with everybody. But I was fortunate. Patrick McGowan told me he doesn't usually come to the Queen's Walk. Like, I think he lives in New Jersey. I think he's usually at the New Jersey Walk, and I think maybe they coincide the same day, and so he's at the Jersey Walk. So I'm just like walking with some dude, and it turns out to be him. And it's funny how, like, in the right place at the right time.
He did come this year. He came to Queens. It was amazing.
Maybe he knew the nonprofit sector connector was going to be there, and he wanted to meet me. It could have been that.
Yes. He came for you, Tommy.
Yeah, well, that's how it is being Tommy D. What is coming up? 5 events, 4 events? Talk to me.
We have some of our, I can't wait to talk about this. I can't wait to tell you about this one. So we are a charity partner for the TCS New York City Marathon. We have 11 amazing runners this year who are raising funds for us. So November 2nd, I will be there in the charity zone. So I will
I've never been. I've never been to the marathon.
Come join me. Come join me in the charity zone.
Help? Yeah, like, what does that mean? Maybe I'll come with you. Can I help?
Well, I have never stood in the charity zone before, so we can figure it out together. But I am going to be tracking all of our runners, and they're supporting them. They're raising funds for us, and it's an amazing, amazing event. I ran it back in the day, in my marathon days. So that brings me to...
You did the New York City Marathon?
I did. I did New York back in the day, and I was sore for 3 weeks.
Really?
And
You're selling that like I was selling the boat trip, man. That's great. You're like, yeah, do the marathon. You'll be sore for 3 weeks.
Well, I'm not. So what happened is I used to do marathons, and then I married a physical therapist, and he was like, you're not built to run. So I keep it at a safe 3 to 5 miles now because of my physical therapist husband.
It's great support. Does he throw you in the pool? He goes, maybe you should just swim.
Yeah, he pushed swimming on me as well, but Jimmy Collins is happy with 3 to 5 miles for me at this point.
All right, way to go. Shout out to Jimmy Collins, everybody. Jimmy Collins. All right, so the marathon, I want to be
November
there with you
2nd.
November 2nd. I don't even know. You and I'll text later on. We'll figure out the details.
Yes, definitely.
Super fun.
Perfect.
Yep.
So I have to tell you about this amazing Irish guy, Tig Daly. Tig has committed to running, get this, Tommy, are you ready? 7 marathons in 7 days from New York City to Boston, and he's raising funds for Solace
I
House.
love it. Give me his name again. Tide what?
Tig, it's Tadhg, the Irish spelling.
Yep.
Tig is amazing. He has a link already set up. He's already started raising funds for us. This guy is so amazing. So my kids, Karina and Evan and Jimmy, they're like, well, we want in. So we're going to be kicking it off with him on December 19th. And we're going to run the first, I said a mile, but my kids and husband want to do the first few miles. Okay. And he's running from New York City to Boston from December 19th to the 25th, ending up in Boston on Christmas Day. It's symbolic for his parents where they met. And he's running in the name of anybody who can't be with their family over the holidays, a time when we all know isolation and depression is at its peak.
I think I found him. He's a young man.
Yes, yes.
Oh, yeah, here he is. I found him on Instagram, everybody. So hit him up. Wow, this is my initials, actually, how you spell the beginning of his name. TADHGD 2000. That's his Instagram. Hit this guy up. Actually, let's get him in the studio. Let's get him on Long Island Changemakers with Tommy D.
Absolutely.
So it says December, I'll be running 7 marathons in 7 days from Tullamore, which I know I probably screwed that up, the Irish bar where I work beside the Madison Square Garden. So wait a minute. So all right,
so we are actually doing a kickoff party for Tig on December 12th at Tullamore, the restaurant he works at. And it's going to be a kickoff send-off fundraiser party for him to raise more money. And we're looking for donors, sponsors. My friends, Greg Milazzo and Marie Darty, have already sponsored his first 2 days. So thanks, shout out to both of you guys. We're looking for sponsors and donors for him. And come join the party. It's free to come. Donations are appreciated. It's from 6 to 8 at Tullamore on December 12th, Friday. So right after work.
So, okay. So I have to be there then. We got to get this guy. I got to connect with this guy because I want to help him, help you and the whole thing and support all this. Maybe we do some lives and stuff like that.
Definitely.
I'm not running. I'm gonna just be straight up. I was talking to Jimmy Collins and he told me, Tommy D, you do not have a runner's body, and he's right.
Yes.
So shout out.
You're prescribed to not run either, correct?
Thank you, Mr. Collins. I appreciate. Is he a doctor as well?
He's not. He's Mr. Collins.
All right, Mr. Collins. All right, Jimmy. I'm not gonna run. Jimmy C and Tommy D. I'm still not running. All right. So let's get into what other things. So Tig is the way I say this gentleman.
So Tig. Yep. Yes. So I have to say, Connell's Crusaders, who's been an amazing, long time and loyal supporter of Solace House. They're doing music bingo and brew on Friday, November 14th at the Rambling House at 7:30. Amazing. Thank you so much for doing that. And then my friend Eddie McPhillips, they do a shave event at the Gibbons home. And they're doing that Friday, November 28th. Again, it's their 5th annual shave event.
Shave their heads?
No, they grow their beards all of November. And then they shave at the Gibbons home. It's a bar, great bar. I attended my first one last year. So Eddie McPhillips is organizing that one. More details to come on that when we solidify timing. But we do hope to have it at the Gibbons home on Friday, November 28th. And then Tig runs his 7 marathons, December 19th to the 25th.
All right, couple things. First of all, Tig, you probably know who David Goggins is, I'm sure, because if you're doing this crazy stuff, you probably do. If not, check out Goggins, because this is a guy who runs these like ultra 100-mile marathons and does like wild stuff. He's like just, he's a human being, I guess, like the rest of us, but different. I want to do this thing with the shaving. So you're saying they're going to grow their beards for the whole month of November.
Yes.
Right. So a couple weeks ago, I got to tell you, a couple weeks ago, I was honored by Options for Community Living, which is an organization that serves people living with HIV and AIDS, mental health issues, and also experiencing homelessness. They honored me at a murder mystery event. It was called Death of a Gangster. And I was the visionary volunteer. So what I did, it was a 1920s, it was called a Mafia Marriage Murder Mystery, Death of a Gangster.
Oh, I love it.
It was so fun, right? So you dress up in the 20s, bam, 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 all this kind of stuff, right? So I shaved down to a mustache, like a pencil thin mustache, and
oh, I love that.
woke up the next day and 4 for 4, my children were like, that has to go. Like now, Tommy D, like, and they call me that. Like, Tommy D, like, seriously, like that, you can't. Like, I'm just running out to get like a cup of coffee. Not looking like that. So, needless to say, I was clean shaven for like it's growing like I'm 2 weeks in. So, but I think any reason just to grow more hair on my face is a
Do it.
great thing. So
Do
November.
it.
So I want to do that. So here's what we need to do because you got a lot of stuff going on. You and I next week will have a debrief, right?
Okay.
Meeting. And then we'll take these 5 events, 4 or 5 events, whatever it is, and we'll promote them through my channels because I want to be part of what you're doing. If nothing else, if I can get the word out more on ending the stigma and hearing it's okay to not be okay, that we are all battling something, then we win. So I want to be part of what you're doing. I want to hang out more. I want to be at all these events. I don't want to run, so I will not run. But
Appreciate you so much, Tommy.
thank you right back. And here's the deal. I get to grow my whole face, all
Yes.
the hair on my face. You know, that will be a good thing. And then we meet somewhere and everybody shaves.
Yes,
Love it.
exactly.
I
Friday,
love it.
November 28th, the day after Thanksgiving.
Oh my God, my wife and kids are gonna be like, dude, could you shave? And I'm going to on Friday,
Yes.
Thanksgiving Friday.
You get shaved.
So what do you mean, like a proper, like a barber, like
A proper, they hire barbers to come in and give shaves.
Oh my
And we
goodness.
raise money and it's a great time.
Good. All right. Well, that sounds like fun. Now it's in a bar, you said, right?
Yes.
The man with the straight razor is not allowed to drink until after everybody's shaved. It's not my party, but I would suggest that as a good rule,
Correct.
just to have as a good rule. You know, that would be my little bit of Tommy D input there. How can we help you? Obviously supporting these events. How can we help?
Support, donate. Go to our website, solacehouseusa.org/donate and support us in any way. A little bit goes a long way. Supports are all of the money that we get goes straight to supporting our counseling sessions, and that's it.
That's it, gang. All the money raised goes to support this organization's important work. They want to support folks who are experiencing serious mental health issues, suicidal ideations, real depressive thoughts. If you're having any of those thoughts right now, 988 is the number, 988-988-998. Get that support you need right now. However, if you're looking for support going forward, you can call 718-482-0001 or in New Jersey, 201-380-9002. Dr. Nandini Collins, I appreciate you. I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate our connection. Thanks for coming on the show. Thank you for just like flowing and vibing and moving with Tommy D, because that's just how it goes. And you were so good at it. So thank you. You are welcome. I appreciate you. We're going to do some fun stuff in the fall together.
Thank you so much, Tommy. Appreciate you as well.
You're welcome. Gang, I'll see you next week. I'll be right here in the attic waiting for you. Make it a great day. This is another In Focus production. Bye now.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.